Every single financial advisor will tell you that there's no downside to getting the CFP. Well, they are wrong. In this video, I want to talk to you about why I let go of my hard-earned CFP designation after years of trying to get it. I want to talk to you about the downside of getting a CFP, and I want to share with you some lessons that I learned along the way to becoming a $1 million financial advisor by the age of 34. I started as a financial advisor at age 23 with no money and just pure determination and hard work. I worked at MetLife for 2 years and absolutely failed as a financial advisor. The number one reason was because I didn't get any training or any attention from the company. What I did get was the yellow pages and a big pat on the back. So, after 2 years of struggle, I finally found a company that I really admired. It was a boutique firm that I went into for an interview, only to get rejected. But after calling them over and over again and not giving up, I finally got the job. Lesson number one, do not give up. You can have everything you want and need as a man if you continue to have willpower and perseverance. The job I had was a commission-only job. No salary, no hourly, but it came with mentorship. I very quickly went from making nothing to making $4,000 a month. Not bad for 20 years ago. Within 3 years, I was making a $300,000 income with no CFP and no other designations. I had learned how to sell, but I was nowhere close to where I really wanted to be. So I learned about the CFP designation, and I was told that if I get the mark, that somehow I would be more successful based on all the studies that they showed me. Little did I know that the top 10% of financial advisors in America were making only $220,000 a year, significantly less than I was already making. I spent 2 years studying for hundreds of hours, books, and thousands of dollars spent in classes. By the time I sat for my CFP exam, I was already making $500,000 of personal income. And I can tell you right now that it had nothing to do with my studies. From a young age, I was always interested in personal growth, so the entire time I had also been receiving mentorship and going to many personal development workshops where I can develop my personal skills. What I realized is that I was becoming really good at building trust with strangers and getting them to feel really comfortable giving me their entire life savings. My average case size was around $500,000. That is 4 times the size of the industry average. But in the meantime, I was learning how to do complex calculations on my calculator, which had nothing to do with my success. In 2015, I was proud to get my CFP designation on the first try. What was really interesting to me was that other students who passed the exam at the same exact time were barely making it in the business. Many of them had much more experience in the business than I did. Within just a few years after that, I became a $1 million financial advisor. And I want to be really clear and direct. It was not because of my designations. It was because of the person that I had become through mentorship and through personal development. I'd become a man that others trusted, not because of my calculator, but because of my embodiment and my presence in front of other human beings. I was able to make others feel safe around me because of my integrity and because of my level of confidence. I learned how to connect with other human beings emotionally to a point where most of my prospects were so grateful that they had found me. It's funny. I had to go through the entire CFP process just to realize that I did not even need it. In fact, a lot of people say the same thing. I invested over 3 years and hundreds of hours. I ask myself where I could have spent this time and money and gotten a way better rate of return. Let me tell you, nothing replaces good mentorship. This is why I created Men of Means, an elite training organization for financial advisor men. Here, we work on our emotional intelligence. We learn how to connect with other human beings so that they can trust us with high amounts of money. My average case size became $750,000. That's nearly 6 times the average case size of the average financial advisor. Listen, you can learn modern portfolio theory, but it does not make money. You can learn cash flow analysis, but it does not scale your sales as a financial advisor. You can learn 401k funding guidelines like I did, but it doesn't replace getting other human beings to trust you with millions of dollars of money. The CFP board constantly publishes studies that brag about how much more money you can make, but what they don't tell you is that the top 10% of financial advisors in America only make $240,000 a year. Now, I know that that might seem like a lot of money for some of you, but if you're looking to scale your career, I believe there are way better ways and better places to invest your money and your time. In 2023, the CFP board changed their corporate structure so they can get more aggressive in terms of marketing because they wanted to market more to Gen Z. Their focus was to take a hold of the industry as the primary way to legitimize a financial advisor. But the truth is that most advisors are actually failing, whether they have a CFP or not. The board has also been accused of being out of integrity on many circumstances where they sided with the consumer and punished their own advisors just to show how loyal they are. The CFP board constantly talks about fiduciary duty. And the truth is that their fiduciary duty is to their organization first and to the consumer second. In other words, the very organization that touts financial standards and fiduciary duties does not have a fiduciary responsibility towards you, their client. At some point, as a financial advisor, I realized all of this, and I considered that I was giving them way more than they were giving me. So I decided to lapse my license as a radical, rebellious thing. But honestly, I didn't really need it anymore. It was not benefiting my career. Look, I'm not saying don't get a CFP. All I'm saying is that once you enter this business, you are a businessman. And that means that you get to evaluate every investment that you make as a business decision. You must ask yourself, is this a good use of my time and my money? Or should I be investing it in something else that has a higher rate of return for my career? If you want my recommendation, a man who's been in the business for over 20 years and is a consistent $1,000,000 earner, there is nothing more valuable than good mentorship and sales training. This is where you learn how to connect with other human beings so that they feel comfortable giving you millions of dollars of money because of the man that you have become, not because of how many letters you have after your name. This is why I created Men of Means, an elite training and mentorship organization specifically designed for men. We have brotherhood, adventure, and we love to learn and exchange ideas so that all of us can succeed as producers and providers for our families and for our clients. Take a look at the link below. I'll see you there.